What's up, guys? Welcome back to a very important week. I hope so. That's the thing. Because we talk about, signing players. Are we going to sign Jadon Sancho? Are we going to this? Is it a here we go? Blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we need to sell players for money, but also to clear out room in the squad. And just period, some players are not good enough. You need to get rid either way. So is this the week? Well, it should be that things start to move because let's be honest, it's the second week of July. It's the second week of July. The market is only open for 1 month and a half. And besides Jonathan David, we have actually done nothing, really, Redeeming Conceição, is that doing something? I wouldn't say so because the fee is there. You're just lowering the fee, but it's clear you want to keep Conceição. So what about selling for 100 million euros? Is that unrealistic? Not really. Considering the players you need to move out. Douglas Luiz, for example. Nico Gonzalez, for example. Lloyd Kelly, for example. McKennie, according to rumors, for example. And that's a few. Mbangola, Timothée Weah, Alberto Costa. You're trying to move out all these players, leaving you with a lot of work to be done selling them, one. And two, also replacing them. So that's what we're going to talk about. Is it unrealistic to collect 100 million euros from these players? And why? And who is close to leaving? Before we get into it, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, as we always do. And let's dive straight into it. So, selling players. Rumors heating up a little bit about Douglas Luiz from Al Nassr to West Ham. So, the latest reports are suggesting that West Ham are in pole position, but Al Nassr want to try to make a move. It's unknown if he wants to go to the Saudi League. Even if he wants to go to West Ham, I think he will leave because he wants to play. He doesn't strike me as a guy who will say, well, I will sit on the bench if West Ham is my offer. But the West Ham offer is the most serious one, if you want to say that. It's 10 million loan plus a 30 million obligation, according to reports. If that's the offer, I think the club will be favorable to it, maybe asking a little bit more for the loan fee so we can reinvest that money immediately this summer. But I think that's what the club is looking for, around 40 million euros, considering what you spent and the season he's had. And not the biggest club, I thought, or we all thought Man U will come in, or these clubs will come in, maybe a Tottenham, but they're not coming in really at this moment in time. So that lowers the fee, especially if you move it to West Ham, for example. And to be honest, Man U apparently don't have a lot of money to spend as well, which is strange, but it is what it is. So that being said, that's one of the names. The other name is Niko Gonzalez, a player that I think a big part of the fan base wants out. It's not working out. I don't think he's been played. He's asked to carry the ball way too much. I don't think that's his profile. And if Tudor wants him to do that, then it's better to sell because it's going to look bad. He's not that profile. I think he's somebody who runs in the box more and doesn't need to drive the ball 20, 30, 40 meters like he's asked to do right now. I don't think that's his forte. I don't think he will be good at that even next season. So you need to move him out. Who is going to pay that money? Because the club wants reportedly 30 million euros. I don't see who's going to pay that money unless a Saudi bid comes in, and there are rumors that Saudi clubs are interested. But does he want to go? That's always the thing. Does he want to go to the Saudi? Now, if a big offer comes in, maybe he accepts that. I don't know. We have no clue. But it's a World Cup here. I don't know how the national team of... the coach of the national team looks at players going to the Saudi, because certain coaches made it clear that if you go to the Saudi league, you're done at the national team. I mean, if a player has quality, he has quality and you will get called up. That's my view on it. But maybe it's like, ooh, if I do that, then I have absolutely no chance to make that World Cup squad. Leaves you with another, difficulty for the club to resolve. Then we move on to Lloyd Kelly, a flop. And we knew that from the moment we got linked with him, let alone signed him. And the club is trying to move him on or listening to offers. The big question is, who is going to make an offer for Lloyd Kelly? And even if that offer comes in, it's probably going to be peanuts, right? It's not going to be the offer the club is looking for. We're going to lose quite a lot of money on Lloyd Kelly. It's a player you need to move up. If you want to improve that backline, you cannot have certain players in that backline because with injuries, these players come in and they will cost you. And if they stay, the club is not looking to invest any more money because we have too many positions filled. That's how it is, We have too many positions occupied in that squad. So Lloyd Kelly is one. And maybe the most surprisingly one that popped up lately is Weston McKennie because what was a slam dunk for his contract extension now has been kind of shut down a little bit because it's not close as it was a couple of months ago, apparently, because according to reports, he's asking for around 3.5 million euros, but he's asking for a signing bonus for him and his agent. And the club, with a great clear mind, is looking at it and saying, you're not the main guy. You're not a main starter, nor should he be a main starter. So for the club, it's a big investment to make for a player that is not going to be shouldn't be starting, but apparently is not viewed as a starter. Then you're not going to pay that money. You're not going to put that money on the table when it comes to Weston McKennie. You're going to think about it, and that's what the club is doing right now. Now, maybe if he lowers his demands or other things happen in the market, fine. Who's going to bid for McKennie? I think he will get offers for McKennie. We had them last season. He declined to go to Aston Villa. Will he decline again? I'm not so sure. You know, maybe this time around it will be different. And maybe this time around he will take the money, and because he had a good offer from Aston Villa, to be honest. But that's also a name. Then you have Mbangola, where the Bremer are interested. It's clear we want to move him out, so that's probably going to happen. Then you have Timothy Weah and Alberto Costa. Now that's the interesting part, because Alberto Costa has agreed with Sporting. He wants to go back. The club wants around 20 million euros guaranteed money. That can be a loan with an obligation, but they want 20 without the bonuses. That's the money they want. And Timothy Weah, closer to to Marseille. Now, there are rumors that if Alberto Costa leaves, we keep Weah. You cannot do that because you put him out of the squad. You force him to leave. You cannot now go back and say, please stay. And also, he's not a wing. Like, he's not a wing back. Like, come on. Like, he's misprofiled. I don't know what Timothy Weah is, but he's not that. And maybe he can do a job for a game or two, but no. Like, you need to cash in. Leaves you with a problem, then you need to bring in 2-3 players on the right, on the left. And that's what I said at the start of the video. It's 1 month and a half. What are we going to do? Or is it that we have all our targets set and at one point we're just going to splash the money and it's going boom, 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 and we're going to sign him? Nobody believes that. But that's the only thing that I'm looking at. I'm like, what else are we going to do? Because we're wasting a lot of time. Or are they actually sitting there saying that backline is good enough? Actually, we don't need to do anything. We just move at Alberto Costa and Timothy Weah. We bring in maybe Gutierrez, I don't know. And maybe we'll try to sign another midfielder if we move out Douglas Luiz and stuff. It's taking way too long. And maybe the sales are needed to do so. Even more so than we need to move on. We need to tell these players, you need to leave. Find the offers, accept the offers. Maybe give a little discount here and there to facilitate certain moves. But things need to start picking up ASAP. ASAP, because the players we are trying to move out have some value in total. And if you pack it up, you know, if you total amount it, basically, there's some value in those players. And you need to have that money to maybe invest and keep things going. Because again, I will stress it one more time. 1 month and a half, and we have a lot of things to do. Even if the club is not thinking about it, we have a lot of things to do if they actually want to be serious. So in the comments, let me know what you think. Do you think we're actually going to speed things up this week, especially moving out players? Are we going to make it clear to certain players you need to leave? Or is it going to be another week where we just, haggle about the price and then start panicking in August? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe, and we will speak again later tonight probably. Ciao.